What's up? David back with another weekly training log. Starting out on Monday, finally got some squat footage, and squats have always been something that I've struggled with in terms of hitting depth. I have very poor hip mobility. I have a very long femur, if you can't tell in the video, and hitting depth has always been difficult for me. This first day was just a light day, and I started out with 285 pounds on the bar. I did 7 sets, adding 5 pounds each set, so I worked my way up to 315 triple. This was all done high bar. I'm a low bar squatter. Finally being able to look at my squat footage, though, I think it is going to really help me, because I noticed that I almost focused too much on leaning back, and you'll see at the initiation of my squat, my hips go directly back and not really down at all. And I think this puts me in a more difficult position. Like I said, since I have long femurs, it's already kind of difficult, and I have to bend my back down a little more than I'd like. Like I said, especially since these are high bar squats, I'd like to be a little bit more upright. So I actually saw this and changed, and I'm going to start focusing on something else, and you'll see it in my heavy squat videos here. But like I said, I always struggle with depth. I think I'm pretty close here on all of them, but I would like to not just be close, but leave no doubt. So it's something I always have to work on, something I continuously have to work on, and it's definitely my hip mobility is a lot of it. Here's front squats. I did a 5x3 after that with 245. Front squats, something I just started incorporating into my programming, and actually enjoying them, hoping that it will help me keep more of an upright torso, that sort of thing. Once again, have to keep working on getting a little bit deeper in these squats. But all in all, I was happy with this workout. Everything moved pretty well for a Monday. Like I said, keep working on my hip mobility. I have a front view of my sumo this time, and you'll see just how poor hip mobility I have. My sumo stance is really kind of more of a half conventional, half sumo, just because I can't get a wide stance and put myself in a good position. But that's why I incorporated more sumos, is to try and stretch out my hips, try and force myself into that position that's not normal for me. And I think it's helped so far. Tuesday was a bench day, heavy bench press. This week with my heavy days, I basically do a set of 5, a set of 3. I think it's 82.5%, then 87.5%. So there's 230 for 5, 245 here for 3. And then I do 2 singles with 95%. This week that was 265. And then my last rep is at least a single, but it's as many reps as I can get. So here's this triple, 245, moved pretty well. Today I did not have a spot, so a little bit scary, but I got the weight done. Here's 265, and I'm going to pause it here, and this moved. This was my opener at the last meet, and look how good that moved. I was actually really happy with that. I did another 265. I don't think I have it. Oh, no, I do. Here, 265. Let's see if this moved similarly. Once again, my bench has been going up, and I have footage of my overhead press, which I think the overhead press is really beginning to help me bench better. And finally, here's my last set. So this is as many reps as I can get. I paused the other 265s. This is going to be unpaused. Grab some guy to spot me. And you're going to see I'm going to squeak out 3 reps, 2 pretty good reps. And this third one, a little bit slower, kind of a grinder. I think my ass may have come off the ground or off the bench, but all in all, 3 reps. I'll be happy with it. Did some slanging afterwards, starting at 295 for a single, then 300 for a single, 305 for a single. Trying to think. So yeah, this was the end of my training block. Like I said, I do microcycles of 3 weeks. First week is sets of 5. The second week, sets of 3. And this week, I do a set of 5 and a set of 3, but really focusing on those heavy singles for my big lifts. And it went pretty well. That's kind of how I set up my programming. Then I do a lot of hypertrophy work with my accessory lifts. And I always try to stay around a barbell even in my accessory lifts. I have some footage of accessories where I'll use dumbbells or kettlebells, but for the most part, I like to stay around the barbell. So, like you saw with my squat day, I went from squats to front squats. You'll see here, I went from bench to benching in the slingshot to here doing some floor pressing. On deadlift days, I'll do deadlift, I'll do bent over rows. You know, I like to stay around a barbell. That's not to say I won't use dumbbells and I won't use machines, but I think the more you incorporate a barbell into your workout, the more comfortable you get with the barbell. I mean, specificity of training at its finest. With these floor presses, it's kind of to help out with that lockout, which I have a little bit of difficulty with. You can see I'm coming to a complete stop at the bottom. It's not a touch and go. Complete stop. And I'll do a press that I call the OU press, where it mimics the same movement, but I'm not on the floor. I'm actually on a bench, and I'm stopping an inch or two off of my chest, just like that. But since I'm almost deloading with the floor press, where I, putting the weights on my triceps on the ground, with that OU press, I have to control it the whole time. So here's my deadlift footage. I didn't get a lot of deadlift footage of myself. We were at another gym, but you can see sumo 509, really good single. I think I did something like 440, 465 for 5 and 3. Then I did 509 for 2 singles, and then 509 triple with straps. Didn't get video of it, but really happy with that. And here's my buddy Thor banging out 565 for a nice clean triple. He's one of the biggest, one of the strongest guys I know, one of my best friends. He helped start the powerlifting group here, and he's one of the captains, and just a great guy to lift with and really strong. Here's Braxton Turner, another guy I lift with, another real strong kid. He's 198 class, maybe 220 in the next meet or so, but he just lifted 198, and he deadlifted 545 and just missed 580 at the last meet. And you can see here he's doing what I did with 509, but looks quite a bit easier for him. He's an animal. Can't wait to see what he does in the future. And they're working on form. You can see the older gentleman in the back there is Rich Peters. He's the director of NASA, which is the Natural Athlete Strength Association. That's the federation that I lift with, and he's helped out our powerlifting team quite a bit, and he was there that night to kind of give us some pointers. Here's my accessory work that night. I did these dumbbell rows with the hundreds, just working on upper back thickness a little bit. Did some pull-ups afterwards with 25-pound weight. Just trying to incorporate some accessories. I was actually feeling pretty taxed this week just from all the heavy singles I was doing and heavy work. So my accessory work was a little bit less strenuous this week, and I incorporated a little bit more of these dumbbell movements and stuff like that. So yeah, and I was actually really happy with how this microcycle ended. I'm about to show you footage from my overhead press day, where 6 weeks ago I started with a max of 170, and on this day I hit my AMRAPs at 170 by 3. Just love the fact that that's increasing. I've lifted for 6-7 years, so you would think that I wouldn't be able to see linear gains like this anymore, but it kind of shows you how important specificity of training is. I've never focused on overhead press and done it religiously, and now that I've just incorporated it into my lifting and programmed it in, I'm starting to make gains in this lift, and it's really been eye-opening for me just how well this has helped out. And like I said, I feel stronger in the bench as well, and I think it's going to have quite a bit of carryover. I also went into this week with a pretty good mindset, and that can be half the battle. I know Jung talks about it a lot, but when you go into the gym and you feel good, and you feel like you've been owning the weights and you're not afraid of weights, that's one thing I always teach people when I'm talking about the deadlift is a lot of people want to sit down in position for too long, and especially in a movement like the deadlift, you can psych yourself out so easily. With a weight that you may be able to do a triple with, you can go up to the bar, and if you psych yourself out, you aren't going to be able to get that thing to budge. And this week, I went in with the mindset that I was going to crush some weights, and I wasn't going to let the weights crush me. And that's really important, especially on my heavy squat day, which we'll see in a bit, where the microcycle prior, my heavy singles were with 395, and they moved absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I did 2 singles with 395, and on my 3rd single, I actually failed. Okay, so this time I went in with the mindset that I'm going to get this weight. And you'll notice a lot of my footage here is without any training partners. And this week, Grant wasn't able to train with me too much. He's usually one of my training partners. But I actually enjoy training by myself. It gets me into a good mindset. I can move at my own pace, and I don't have to worry about any outside distractions. I can kind of get in the zone. Here you can see this is a movement I like to do for accessory work with my shoulders, and those are just 40-pound kettlebells, and it mimics an Arnold press, but without putting so much strain on my front delt, and so I did 15 reps of these. So doing it for hypertrophy work, but I think it will have a lot of carryover in my bench press, overhead press especially, etc. So, but yeah, I like getting in a pretty good mindset. You know, if I'm with a workout partner, they have to really be in the gym to work. I'm not in there to do anything but get some work done. I'm not in there to socialize. I'm not in there, you know, to make friends. When I'm in the gym, I'm ready to do some work. So this week I was kind of by myself, listening to my own music, getting me fired up, and I'm different than most people. I can listen to anything while I'm working out. Some days it'll be John Mayer, some days it'll be Machine Gun Kelly, some days it'll be rap, other days it'll be, you know, acoustic music, whatever the case may be, but I just get in my own zone. So here's some heavy squats. This is low bar. Here's a set of 5 with 355. Once again, would like to get a little bit deeper, but I'm working on it. And you can see that I decided this day, I was like, I'm not going to try and go back as far as I was going on Monday. And I think it made a difference. And it's something I'm going to have to keep working on, but I think it will help me out in the long run, getting better depth and, you know, getting better squats. Here's 375 for a triple. Moved pretty good. After I hit this set, I was ready to tackle some singles. I was feeling good. This was a Saturday afternoon, evening, and I was once again by myself till I had a buddy come in a little bit later. But you know, a bunch of guys, since it was Saturday, were doing dumbbell work, biceps, all that shit, and to go in and squat and put in some good work and have some weight move, it just felt great. So here's my first heavy single with 405. It moved really well. It felt light when I took it off the rack, and that's a big thing for me, is if I get a good unrack, it makes a big difference. You can't really see. My elbows are kind of flared back, and I'd like them to be a little bit more underneath me. You can see when I squat, I like to see that your arms or elbows are in line with your back. And so you can see at the initiation of these lifts, my elbows are flared out maybe a little bit too much, but when I start to lift, because I have to lower my back because of my long femurs to balance out the weight, you'll see that the elbows will then get in line with my back. So maybe not the end of the world, but I would like to maybe see those a little bit tighter, help me get a little bit tighter of a back, better platform for the weight. And the last set I put wraps on because I thought I'd try to do more than one rep. But you'll see this actually moved worse than when I didn't have wraps on. I don't know if I didn't wrap myself well. I'm just not used to the wraps because I don't train with them. Just kind of moved really slow. But all in all, good squat day. This next video you'll see my buddy Marcin. He's kind of new here, new master student. without a belt on, just hits 425 like it's nobody's business. He's about 198, 220 class. So we got some strong guys down here. After these squats, I did some heavy straight leg deadlifts with 365. I do it two different ways. I did a tap and go, and then I also did one where I came to a dead stop. I really like the tap and go better. The dead stop just places way too much strain on my lower back, and since straight leg deadlifts are more of a hamstring movement anyways, I don't think I need to put that much strain on my lower back. But that's my training for this week. Sunday was just pretty much another rest day. I did do some biceps, but not a whole lot. But this next week I start my new microcycle, starting with doing some more conventional deadlifts and hitting sets of 5. And so we'll see how that goes. I'm really feeling pretty strong right now, feeling really good, in a pretty nice groove. So hopefully I can get some more video of some of the guys I lift with too. Maybe so you guys can just see the great environment we have started down here in Oklahoma Powerlifting here at the university. But I guess that's it. I think that I'm really enjoying doing these training videos, and hopefully people are able to learn something by my talking during them. If you got to put it on mute and just watch me lift, that's fine too. But alright, like I said last time, enjoy alcohol, enjoy lifting, and enjoy life. I'll see you guys next week.